Every gamer loves stumbling upon sneakily hidden items. Usually they take the form of upgrades, shields, or weapons, but there are so many more possibilities. Collecting everything can take tens upon tens of hours. However, there are certain items just worth knowing about. I'm Scott from WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 hidden video game items that change everything. Number 10. The Zeta Pi Omega File, Hades. While you attempt to break out of Supergiant's all-timer Hades, you'll encounter many characters from ancient Greek myths, such as Achilles, Thanatos, and Zeus. However, the people that most players are drawn to are Orpheus and Eurydice. Although these two musicians adore each other, they're imprisoned in different sections of the underworld, preventing them from rekindling their relationship. Or so it seems. If you keep speaking to this pair on each run, your stepmother Nyx will tell you that you can release Orpheus from servitude by locating the Zeta Pi Omega File in the administrative chamber. Once this order is sent to the contractor, you can purchase it, buying Orpheus out of his sentence. When you revisit Eurydice upon freeing her husband, you'll see she and Orpheus have been reunited, and are celebrating with a heavenly duet. It's a beautiful moment in the game and for the characters, knowing Zagreus' actions brought these star-crossed lovers back together, and rewarding you with one of the most glorious pieces of music in the game. Number 9. The Mayan Armor, Assassin's Creed 4. A C4 Black Flag is a completionist's nightmare. You'll need to rummage around the lands and seas to find Templar keys, letters in bottles, shanties, naval contracts, treasure chests, animus fragments, and manuscripts. Now, most of these items are superfluous, meaning you should only really seek them out if you're looking for that sweet 100% completion rating. However, one collectible worth finding are the Mayan Stellar Stones. By locating all 16 of these ancient keystones, you'll be able to open a vault in Tullum, which gives you access to the Mayan armor. This protective plating is so sturdy it makes you immune to all firearms. Needless to say, it's in the thick of battle where you'll realize just how much it trivializes combat, completely removing your consideration for any ranged attacks. Once you've got the simplistic counter-based melee combat down, the rest of the game and any ship or settlement takeovers are a cakewalk. Number 8. The Tsubaki Mark III upgrades, No More Heroes. No More Heroes follows low-level hitman Travis Touchdown, who dreams of becoming the world's greatest assassin. After battling through hordes of mercenaries and defeating the top-ranked killers, Travis fulfills his dream and is crowned the top dog in the assassin game. Too bad he doesn't get a chance to celebrate though, since the ending implies he's killed by a hired gun while he's taking a dump. Some players were disappointed, saying it felt like an anticlimax, but that's because it was never the real ending. If you track down and board every beam katana, you'll face the true final boss, your brother Henry Cooldown. Not only is this fight exceptionally entertaining and brutally difficult, but you'll also get a lot of insight into the siblings' backstory, as well as Travis's agent Sylvie, who just happens to be Henry's wife. Getting every beam katana isn't easy, since it'll set you back $744,000, and the Tsubaki Mark III alone is worth about $500,000, so if you want to see the real ending, you'll have to grind like your life depends on it. Number 7. The Bucket, the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. When the Stanley Parable launched in 2013, its originality, dark humor, and themes on the futility of choice made a massive impact on the gaming scene. With a narrator commenting on every last action Stanley could take, it led to tons of branching paths and endings along the way. Understandably, fans were thrilled when Expanded Edition The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe was released in 2022. And true to the amount of secrets in the original, if you complete enough endings, you can access the Expanded section. Here, you're rewarded with a bucket. At first, players assumed this steel container was just a joke, but rather than having zero impact on the narrative, it's the total opposite. Carrying the bucket changes the narrator's dialogue, creates brand new divergent paths, and opens up even more endings. To top it off, revisiting every section with bucket in hand will uncover more secrets, including eventually the standard narrator narrating the bucket's dialogue. It's the whole thing. Number 6. The Chaos Emeralds, Sonic the Hedgehog. For most people growing up in the 1990s, the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic were probably the first hidden items they came across in video games. Depending on which title you're playing, getting all the emeralds might change the ending, unlock a secret boss, or open up a whole new level. For the majority of fans though, it doesn't get better than using all 7 emeralds in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 to transform into Super Sonic. Not only does the furry speedster become invincible in this form, but he can move at what feels like light speed, burning through levels in literal seconds and reaching previously inaccessible areas if you get Sonic's increased momentum and pathways just right. Number 5. The Shiny Stone, Super Mario RPG. This incredibly charming RPG comes with some awesome references to other gaming properties. While visiting an inn, the Legend of Zelda's Link can be spotted napping in the corner, and in the Mushroom Castle you can find Samus Aran from Metroid resting up from Mother Brain. However, the coolest Easter egg is also the most well hidden. After obtaining fireworks in Moleville, you need to trade them to a girl in the village to obtain a shiny stone. If you use this stone on a sealed door in Monstro Town, you'll encounter an entity called Culex, who will challenge you to a battle. This interdimensional creature is harder than anything else in the game, being Super Mario RPG's tribute to endgame Final Fantasy bosses, as you'll need to have all stats and weapons maxed out to even stand a chance. With developers Square wearing that iconic IP on their sleeve, Culex's theme song is the boss music from Final Fantasy IV, and if you manage to win, you'll get the victory jingle from Final Fantasy itself. Number 4. The Five Talismans, Sifu. Sifu follows a martial artist tracking the 5 criminals who murdered their father. Because this beat-em-up is rock hard, you'll be dying more times than you can count. Thankfully, you're equipped with a magical talisman that can resurrect you, though it increases your age on every use. However, as you'll find out, this isn't the only enchanted talisman the game has to offer. If you spare the 5 main bosses who killed your dad rather than kill them when stunned, they'll each reward you with another talisman. Designed to be something Sifu realizes after pursuing a path of vengeance first, showing mercy is purposefully only achievable by training harder to survive in these fights even longer. Instead of attacking the bosses outright, you'll need to focus on breaking their defense. When your opponent is stunned, you'll have the opportunity to perform a takedown, but allow them to recover and break their will once again, and you can trigger a special cutscene instead. Only by mastering Wude, a more virtuous state of mind gained in-game from getting each boss's talisman, will you be able to see the game's true ending, living up to the responsibility of manipulating time to your will in the first place. Number 3. The Aromatic Branch, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Just to really make Sekiro a brutal task to 100%, From Software created 4 different endings, all of which can be unlocked by performing a series of frustratingly specific tasks. Completing the game normally is hard enough, but if you want to see the purification ending, you'll have your work cut out. Not only will you need to speak to key characters a certain amount of times and side with specific people to see this conclusion, but you'll need to have located a unique item. If you defeat the Great Shinobi Owl on Ashina Castle after remaining loyal to Kuro, you'll be rewarded with an Aromatic Branch. This twig might not seem like much, but it's vital to actually reach this secret boss inside the Lady Butterfly room. When you defeat him and attain the aromatic flower, you must offer it and the Divine Dragon's Tears to finally unlock this hidden ending. The most positively framed in the whole game, you better believe it ends on a high note after everything you've been through. Number 2. Umbilical Cords, Bloodborne. Before Elden Ring surprised us with what felt like endless map reveals, Bloodborne's secret final boss was the jaw-dropper of the 8th generation. Coming after an already brutally hard game, if you want to face the real adversary pulling the strings, you need to play through Bloodborne 3 more times, picking up an umbilical cord hidden behind precise steps on each save. Thankfully, you only need to acquire 3 of the 4 umbilical cords to face off against the Moon Presence. If you thought obliterating this behemoth would answer some lingering questions in the story though, that's not the case. After defeating this monstrosity, the conclusion you get has become legend for being obtuse as hell. You're reborn into a squid/infant Great One's body, either being the best thing ever or it's just incredibly disappointing. That's up to you. And number 1, the Green Orb, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Castlevania Symphony of the Night concludes supposedly with a showdown against Dracula. If you're a completionist though, you might be tempted to revisit every room to see if there are any items you missed. Although most of the random paraphernalia doesn't do anything, there is one relic you have to get. It's something that only appears for a few seconds during a specific boss fight. Turns out if you destroy this green orb while fighting Richter, you'll gain access to Dracula's inverted castle. To be clear, this new domain isn't just a few extra rooms. It's obviously an inverted map, but now with tons of new secrets and a vastness of discovery to get really lost in. This realization truly shook players back in the day, since they genuinely believed they'd beaten the game when in reality they were only halfway through. Every corner of this new environment is filled with new items, enemies, music, and bosses. Even though it's tempting to pat yourself on the back after conquering Dracula's castle, you haven't truly played Symphony of the Night until you've completed the inverted second half. And those are our picks for various hidden video game items that change everything. Let me know your favorites down in the comments below, and please subscribe to the WhatCulture Gaming Podcast. For now, I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com, and I'll catch you soon.